This is the House of Hockey podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Hockey is more than a game, it's a lifestyle. It's you, the diehard supportive fans, your favorite players who are on the team you cheer for, and the organization who supports them.
The companies that make your gear, bags, and beer league sweaters. The hockey moms and hockey dads, and everything else that makes this House of Hockey your home. Come on in. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Rae.
And this is our house.
Welcome to the House of Hockey podcast. This is episode 149. I'm one of your hosts, Rae.
And I'm your other host, Breezy. And we have a guest co-host again this week. We have Chris, aka at All Tyler's Fault on Instagram. You probably have seen her crazy great pictures that she always gets of so many people all the time, and she is a super fun person to talk to when it comes to our podcast, and here she is. So Chris, welcome.
Hi guys, thanks so much. I'm excited to be back.
Yes, yeah, we're trying to figure it out. I should have probably gone to back in our episodes, but I think you said episode 4, right? One of the first.
It was episode 4, yeah.
Yeah, one of the first ones. So yeah, she's back.
She's back. And Chris is a huge hockey fan. Also likes players and teams, follows players and teams. And we'll just touch on that real quick, like just rattle them off real quick so people have a little context. That's the C word I was looking for. They have a little context to know when you're talking about teams. And if they want to hear the story about how you got the handle All Tyler's Fault, they're going to have to go back and listen to episode 4. It's for Taylor. It's Taylor. Did I say All Taylor's Fault? Did I say Tyler or Taylor?
I think it was Tyler.
You said Tyler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tyler Seguin is the Tyler we're talking about. But Chris, who is your team and who are your favorite players?
Well, my teams tend to change based on where my players are, because a lot of my players, they don't stay on the same team for very long. I kind of like the less popular ones. But player-wise, let's see, David Perron, Bobby Ryan, who is all but retired, I guess. And let's see, Ben Sherratt, I really like him. Christian Wolanin is one of my newest ones. So yeah, I follow a lot of different teams. I try to kind of stay true to a few. Ottawa Senators, mostly because of Bobby's time there, and Dallas Stars, because I love Tyler. But there's a lot of others on that team too. I like Otter. I like Jason Robertson, a couple of really awesome guys on that team. So it's a perennial favorite, that one. But I've also been following the Red Wings this season, so because of David Perron and Ben Sherratt. So I kind of end up following everybody at some point. So it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, let's go with the Dallas. How do you think they're going to do moving forward? They eliminated the Wild, which I'm a little bit sad about because I'm not a Wild. No, I'm not a Wild fan. I support the organization, Chris. I am a Blackhawks fan forever, only and always. But I was rooting. I like the organization and I like that team and I like that dynamic. And I just was hoping for more from them. So I'm a little bummed.
I think you're a Wild fan.
No, I'm not.
That's okay. It's okay to be a Wild fan.
I can't. No, it's against the laws. It's against the laws.
50 underground Wild fan. It's okay.
Yeah, you can join us. It's okay to like more than one team.
No. Not when you're from Chicago. It's not. No, sacrilege. They kick you out of that city.
But you don't live there anymore, so it's fine.
Listen, I'm not a Wild fan. How do we feel about the Dallas Stars?
She's moving on.
I like the Dallas Stars. I think they are always, on paper, they're built really well. They look good. Especially going into this season, I thought, oh, this is going to be good for them. I actually have them in my bracket going all the way. But then there's things, injuries, Pavelski, the big Pavelski thing. I think that affects the room more than what anybody would think. I mean, he was on the top line. He was part of their big chemistry on that top line. And I mean, Tyler stepped up really well. And so I'm glad to see that working out. But I think the problem with trying to choose who's going to be going on, it always depends on who they come up against and how physical that team is. If you lose a couple of key players, that's it. So I'm hoping hesitantly, tentatively, that they still make it far.
I think that's a
They
fair
can.
assessment.
Yeah, and they would be playing whoever wins the series against the Avalanche and the Kraken, correct?
I think that's right.
Yes. Yeah. Which either one of those teams, it's going to be a good battle for the Stars. But I mean, the Stars are vibing, so.
Let's talk about some of the other eliminations. I listen, I also am like, and I've said it here before, I'm not a Stars fan, and like couldn't believe that they made it this far this season. As we saw, they are having a really stellar season, especially with Jason Robertson, right? I always want to call his last name something different. They've got a lot happening, but let's talk about the Leafs. Like, that's the biggest headline of the weekend. Like, that happened. They have finally advanced out of the first round for the first time in 19 years. The fans went absolutely bananas. Like, their outside, like, watch party, they looked like they won the Stanley Cup. I can't even imagine if that actually happens for them, what will happen in that city.
It'll burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
if they win, it riots. And if they don't, they riot.
They're going to turn into the Canucks fans then.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like that's what's going to happen, right? I don't know. What did you guys think? Were you surprised? Did you anticipate that the Leafs were going to get out, Chris? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a dog in that fight. There's a couple of players that it'd be nice to see them get past, but at the same time, it's also really kind of fun to see them collapse. I hate saying that, but I mean, I have to admit that every year when they do, I would laugh.
Me too. And Breezy is not that way. She does not feel like we feel the same way. I was like, oh man, it would just be so great if they just botched it again. Like, just because, like, again, we don't have a dog in the fight, so we can say these things.
Exactly. And I mean, since they've made it, I'm happy for my friends who are Leafs fans. I'm like, okay, you guys made the second round. I don't think some of them don't even care at this point if they get eliminated. They just wanted to like get that monkey off their back so badly. So I'm like, okay, second round, you guys can go out.
Mm-hmm. Breezy, how do you feel? Your team, they made it. Come on.
I feel pretty good. I sent in all caps text to Rae last night the second that they won. I don't even remember if you responded. I think I just blacked out after that point.
I didn't. I was in bed. Let me see there was a whole string of texts that came through.
Yeah.
Leafs made it out. It's not even spelled right. Out of the first round. Roined. Leafs made it out if the first roined. LFG.
I had a Canadian accent there.
Yes. Oh.
She was so excited she couldn't even get it out correct in the text. That's how excited she was.
I was pretty excited.
Very.
Yeah, it was yeah. I wanted them to win. I can't even talk now because I'm still excited from last night. I wanted them to win in Toronto because I feel like it would have gone even crazier. But an OT win in Tampa, I guess we'll take it. My only concern, and I was brushing my teeth earlier. I was like, I probably shouldn't say this out loud. Rae already told me that I need to like keep my mouth shut on certain things given my track record.
With superstitions, not just superstitions. I don't tell you to keep your mouth shut on other stuff.
It's true.
I'm not a menace.
This is going to be one of those things that I feel like I probably shouldn't say this out loud to like put it in the open. But we're talking about hockey today, so I feel like I have to just for the sake of conversation. But it would be kind of funny, however, if the Panthers beat the Bruins, because we're recording this earlier. There's going to be, another game coming up. We don't know who's going to be playing the Leafs on the second round. If the Panthers beat the Bruins, and then they have to play the Leafs in the second round, and then if the Panthers kick the Leafs out of the second round, the Maple Leafs have beef with the state of Florida.
Right.
They're going to have beef.
That's
whole
going to be
state.
bad.
The whole state. So if it's not one Florida team, the other one.
The governor isn't going to allow, Leafs are going to be denied their visa access to come across the border to go to Florida from now on.
Oh, the snowbirds.
I hope that's
that.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case. I personally think it would be fun to see the Panthers, only because of Matthew Tkachuk, really. But also if the Panthers can knock out the Bruins, because I did say I think Bruins would be a first round exit just based off of their season, because it would be like the opposite of what their season would be, and an underdog of the Panthers coming in and to knock the Bruins out. But then to see the Panthers play the Maple Leafs, I feel like that would be fun to watch. But I'm gonna have it in the back of my head, like, don't screw this up, guys. You can't have beef with the state of Florida.
This week's episode of the House of Hockey podcast is brought to you by Light the Lamp, baby, during the hockey playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can make a $5 bet and score $150 in bonus bets instantly. So I just pulled up the DraftKings Sportsbook app to check the lines for Wednesday's games, May 3rd, the Edmonton Oilers versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Your puck line odds are for the Edmonton Oilers are plus 210 and minus 250 for the Golden Knights. The money line bet is minus 115 for the Edmonton Oilers and minus 105 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Be sure to check the app every day for odds and bets and lines, and all of the wagers that you can possibly make are available in the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with code THPN. New customers can make a $5 hockey playoff bet and score $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code THPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE NY. That's 467369. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for offer details. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. This is the the next sort of headline thought process that's going to come up now with the Lightning is their decade of success over now?
Yeah, because the headline on NHL.com is Lightning elimination and empty feeling. And I read that and I was like, ooh, that could be the end of their success for a while.
I think it could definitely be. I mean, their core is so much the heart of that team, between Hedman and Stamkos. Like, if they consider hanging them up or, even taking a step back, I don't think it's going to be the same team.
I think financially too, there's going to be some challenges. And a lot of people were blaming Vasilevsky for goaltending being the issue. And I kind of hate when that happens, when they the default is just to go with well, the goalie should have had that shot, and I think there's so much more that goes into that, and the defense and the turnovers that were occurring on both sides actually during game 6 of the Leafs Lightning. It was what is going on here? It was just chaos the whole game. So I think there's a lot of tightening up that just needs to be done more so than anything else. But I don't know that this Lightning team will win another Stanley Cup. I think we could probably all agree on that. No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
I
so
probably
too.
I'm like
they'll
going through it. I'm it's like they still have what Sorelli, they have Braden Point, they have Alex
Hagel.
Killorn, which Killorn, I mean, he's probably at the end of his contract the next he was re-signed, right? For like 1 or 2 years
I don't know.
after they won. I don't remember. Um yeah, I mean they're gonna start losing players, right? And Kucherov, he was in did he get injured again this year?
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And it's
yeah,
hard
I don't know.
it's hard on guys who've gone through and done each of those runs because you're playing hockey well after everybody else is resting and gone golfing. And if
Yeah.
you do that like 2 or 3 years in a row, that's got to be a lot on the body. So I think even just physically, it's difficult for a team to keep repeating.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
As Breezy and I know with Kings and Hawks and those years, I mean, I think those were the primes for that core, right? For those cores that we had and you had. And I think for this core with the Lightning, I don't think that they'll be bad. I just don't think that they will have that same thing moving into a Stanley Cup position unless they maybe make some adjustments with their team, which I don't think they're really willing to do, but we'll see what they do off season. So I think Cooper really believes in that group. And I don't think he would be happy if some of those people started to leave. So we'll see if they
I
can
feel like they're gonna
make
be
their way.
like the Penguins. Like the Penguins were super good at with like their core group and like they didn't want to like let anyone go after winning the cup, and like they've kind of just like fizzled out. And I feel like that's how the Leafs or not the Leafs, the Lightning are gonna be. Like, is that a good like analogy?
I could see
Kind of.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to take a left turn and talk about the Ottawa Senators and the potential that Ryan Reynolds
Oh
might
yeah.
purchase them. As somebody who has followed this team for quite a while, what do you think Ryan Reynolds would bring to the organization?
I think it's great. Actually, if he's involved, no matter who buys the team, as long as they bring him on as part of it, I think it's a great thing for the team. They're Ottawa's kind of like the little stepchild, the Canadian stepchild, because, people know about the Leafs, people know about, Edmonton. Like, I feel like Ottawa does not have that kind of draw stars and just having the that kind of presence that other Canadian teams have. But then suddenly you start seeing like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is at a game. Then people are talking about the Ottawa Senators, and nobody really cared before. So I think it's a good thing for the team. It's a good thing for money and for popularity and just being relevant. Um, so
Now,
I think it's great.
do they still have the same GM?
They do. And they still have Pierre Dorian, and he's done a great job with everything. But because of their issues with selling the team, because the owner passed away,
Right.
so yeah, so now they're selling the team, which is why all these ownership things come up. But they also want to get a new arena that has a better location so fans can get there.
Yeah.
It's they have some issues, but I think there's having new ownership is really like a bright light. That's really
Yeah.
something for them to be looking forward to. So I think it's a good thing. And Ryan Reynolds adding to that, the notoriety, I think it's just awesome. Every time they show him and he's at the games, like that kind of becomes the side story. Will be people, they'll show fans taking pictures with him. They show him in his little box, like cheering with people and high-fiving strangers. And it's kind of neat. It just makes it happier.
Yeah. He's a regular guy, just like us. Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
He's like
Exactly.
the Will Ferrell of the Senators
Without the face paint.
without the face paint.
And a
Yeah.
little more je ne sais quoi than Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
They are both funny.
Yeah.
They are. They're
Or I
both.
guess he would be almost like the Macklemore, right? Because Macklemore is the his
Oh
part ownership
no, no,
of the
no.
Kraken. Oh, she does not
Breezy.
like that. She does not like that.
Ryan Reynolds is nothing like Macklemore.
Well, no, I'm
No.
not saying that they're the same person, but like Macklemore definitely gets the crowd hyped in Seattle.
Okay. But Ryan Reynolds is this like elusive mystery person that like doesn't feel accessible. Like he still feels like he's like up here. Will Ferrell is like, because he sits in the box. Will Ferrell is down with the fans. Where does Macklemore sit? Does he sit in a box?
I don't know.
He's too
I don't like
regular. He's
Macklemore,
like
but
too regular guy for me. But like I hear what you're saying, but like does he even put out new music? Is he even relevant anymore?
I don't know. I actually don't like Macklemore. Like I don't like his music. So
Okay. So we'll move
so
on from
I
that
don't know.
then.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have brought it
I
up.
don't listen to him either,
I
so
don't
I
either.
can't say anything.
Uh I'm sure all the Kraken fans do though. I wanted to ask you, that was like a sarcastic little jab. Let's face it, with coffee starting at $5, yes, even without any customizations, and our bank account somehow always depleting, we are officially entering a dupe session. Most products do the same thing, but are priced differently solely based on the brand name. So a good duplicate or dupe is crucial for getting the highest quality at the best price. And one dupe you definitely shouldn't sleep on: Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycon is premium audio at the perfect price point, so you can listen to what you want, when you want, without breaking the bank, whether that's the House of Hockey podcast or some Lainey Wilson jams. You might not want to spend a lot of money on earbuds, especially if you lose things easily. That's no worry with Raycon. They're easily replaceable if you lose them. And if you're new to good quality audio, you might not want to spend a ton of money on your first pair. Raycon's mission is to prove that you shouldn't have to pay an arm and leg for quality sound and essential smart tech listening features. You can get a pair and a spare and still pay less than you would with some of those other more big name tech brands out there. Raycon knows that in this economy, every purchase needs to be perfect. They offer buy now, pay later options. Right now, you can pay as low as $18 at checkout. They have an easy and free return guarantee. They offer 2 years of product protection insurance for just a few bucks. They offer free domestic shipping and a flat fee international shipping. They have over 50,000 5-star reviews. One feature of my Raycons that I love are that they're water and sweat resistant, so I don't have to worry when I'm working out that anything is going to happen to them. And also the noise isolation feature, that is also super important when I'm recording the podcast, so I don't have to worry about exterior noise distracting me. They're really, really great products. So go to buyraycon.com/THPN today to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's buyraycon.com/THPN to score 15% off. Buyraycon.com/THPN. I want to get Chris's thoughts on watching the Yotes, even though you didn't go to watch the Yotes, but you went to Arizona to Mullet Arena this season to watch a game in the 5,000 seat college arena. What was it really like firsthand?
It was awesome. Honestly, it was really cool. I went for Red Wings versus Coyotes. And it was like I didn't know what to expect. So you walk in there and you're just like, okay, it feels like an AHL game.
Mm-hmm.
It actually feels like, because there's no tiers, it isn't, there's like hardly any viewing area. But you're like, okay. I felt like I was walking, into like an Ontario rain game or something. And I love the rain. So don't, that's not a bad thing. But then once everything starts and they have like, the video and the music and all of the players come out, it's just kind of like, it's weird. It's this strange cross between AHL and NHL, because it's obviously the NHL team. So they bring with them all of that, the NHL pizzazz. And when the game actually starts, it isn't anything like watching an AHL game, because you get NHL speed, NHL hits, but in that nice little intimate feeling of an AHL arena. So I thought it was awesome. I was just blown away. I was like, this is great. And no seat is a bad seat. You're like lower bowl no matter where you sit. The concourse got a little bit crowded during intermissions. So that was a little bit annoying. If you wanted to get up and use the bathroom, you're going to have to go while game is in play because otherwise you can't even walk. It's just, yeah, it's a madhouse there. But
Oh,
I,
geez.
I think it's great. If
What
you get a chance, go.
was it worth the ticket price that you ended up paying?
It was, but see, I kind of have an in because I have a lot of Arizona friends. You know, we would always go to Coyote games together. So I know people who are season ticket holders, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll sell you my ticket for face value for, what they pay." So I paid very reasonable prices, but
Did
that's
they
because
make did they increase the prices on the season ticket holders?
they did. They did.
Really?
Yes, because you would have to be able to make some of the money back. I guess must be what the team was thinking. But the problem is a lot of fans who were season ticket holders for a really long time at Gila River, they were priced out. They were told if you can't pay the extra prices, the extra high price to come and have season tickets here, then you're out. That's it. So that sucked for a lot of fans
Wow.
who are used to going and they sit in the upper bowl with their whole
Right.
family. Yeah, they couldn't afford 4 seats in a lower bowl kind of setting at those prices. It was just too much. So that's, it's unfortunate. And I feel for those fans because, you were like a 10-year season ticket holder when they were playing in Glendale.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of trouble brewing for the Yotes and the Yotes fans right now, and that organization is not maybe making fans very happy, and it's been a while like this, so
Yeah, it's hard. I mean,
yeah.
Yotes fans who stay loyal, I mean, they've been through a lot.
Yes. Yes. Okay, good to know there was a good review there.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Okay. Bridgie, what
Well,
else did you
they
want to
have,
say?
they're gonna be at that arena for how much longer? 2 more years?
I
One
think
more
it's
year.
like 2 or 3 more years.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if an agreement was made for how long, but it's supposed to be the time that it would take them to build the new one in Tempe.
Which they
Right.
still haven't even officially gotten, like they haven't broken ground on that yet. They're
No,
dealing
they're
with
trying to
lawsuits
get
now.
Yeah, well, they're trying to get the city. There's like a vote, they're trying
Yeah.
to get the voters to vote on letting them come in and do this. And there's been a lot of misinformation and everything. So the Coyotes camp is just trying to tell people, no, you should vote yes, because we're not going to pass the cost on to you. Taxpayers are not going to pay for anything
Right.
in regards to building the arena. So that's great. If the ownership's going to pay for everything, then really, what do you have to lose? That's what they're trying to say.
Yeah. Have you had any good stories with meeting players this year? I know you are just as savvy as Alma, who is a friend and has been on the podcast, of being able to get to meet some of the players, and you go to some of the events, and you get to interact with them and have you've shared some great stories in the past. So anything new?
I actually have an update for you guys, which is kind of
Ooh.
cool. I mean, you already sort of mentioned it. Um, so the Dallas Stars, they had their casino night, and I wanted to go this year because, I mean, why not, right? I like the team, and a friend of mine suggested it, and I'm like, okay, if you want to go, let's do it. Let's go. It was not even as pricey as some of like the Ducks events, which, sorry, Ducks, you guys are, man, pricing me out. But yeah, so we did this. We did this whole trip. We decided we're going to go, we're going to see a game because they had a home game the night before. It was perfect. It was on a weekend. So we went, saw the home game, and then went to the casino night the next evening. And it was awesome. They do this, like, I guess, I don't know. Dallas is just really good at the fan, bringing in the fans and everything. They had the players there. They were not wearing name tags, which I think was very sneaky of them to do that. Anytime I've gone to like a Ducks event or whatever, there's a name tag, so you know who the players are. These guys were just kind of wandering around, no name tags, whatever. If you don't know who I am, then okay, bye. Like, it's great because they weren't swarmed by fans.
Ah,
And especially like Wyatt Johnston, sorry, who's their like rookie sensation. He's standing over there in the corner. The MC goes, "Don't nobody give him any drinks. He's too young. He can't be having any drinks, so we can't catch you guys giving him drinks." So he's standing there with a bottle of water, and people like have no idea who he is. It was just great. But my update though is I actually got to speak to Tyler, and I told him about my Instagram. I was like, it's called All Tyler's Fault. And he goes, "What did I do?" And I'm like, "No, it's completely a good thing because you inspire me, and to take pictures and to showcase you guys in a like more of a not just sports photography way, but in a portrait sort of way, more of a personality way. That's what I try to do with my pictures." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And his fiance was there too, and she was just laughing. She thought it was funny. He turns to her, he's like, "Oh, you like that name, huh?" And so I was able to show him. I said, "See," and she thought they were awesome pictures. And he even told me, he goes, "You take excellent pictures." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So
Wow.
that was my huge fangirl moment. Tyler knows I exist, and then I
That's
take pictures. Yay!
amazing. I'm
It
so
was so
proud of
cool.
you for going up to him because, some people, whatever, don't want to. It keeps
Oh my
the
gosh.
mystery alive, or they get scared. Like Breezy would lose her words, if she went
Oh,
up to Roman Yossi. I would just fangirl out if I met Patrick Kane. I would just be screaming, so that would be horrible too. But,
it's it was awkward. I tried actually that was this I tried the first time to talk to him and I couldn't. I was like, "Oh God, okay, I can't." I turned around, I walked away. I'm like, "Okay, give me a moment." So then I caught him again, and yeah, so I can't say I was super smooth. I wasn't, because the first time he was probably like, "What the hell?"
they're used to that. Come on. They know.
Yeah, I had to get a little bit of, a little bit of wine, and then we were good. Then we're like, "Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk to him."
And isn't it worth it when you were just normal and you just shared something with him,
Yeah,
and that's what they want. They want a conversation more so than like can I just get your picture and then like walk
exactly.
away, and then they're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is weird.
Yeah,
So
no, it's great to be able to actually talk to them and
mhm.
and speak to them about things. And Otter was the same way. I met him there too, and he's just the sweetest thing. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're adorable." And I told him I take pictures at games, and he goes, "Oh, so we've probably locked eyes through the glass, haven't we?" And I said, "Oh yeah, we have." He's too cute.
See, that's like the best, they're so down to earth. That's so awesome to
They
hear.
are. Hockey players are like none other.
Exactly. We say that over and over again. They're a different breed. Um, who else? I'm trying to think. Did you meet Jason Robertson?
I did. And that was really cool because he's from California. So he actually grew up in the Junior Kings, Junior Ducks systems, their grassroots and everything. And I've met his mom multiple times at games. I run into her, and it's kind of neat to talk to her about being an Asian American and in hockey and in the NHL, and being almost like just a role model for the kids who are growing up, especially here in California, where a lot of the kids that are in the mites leagues and everything, they're Asian. A lot of Japanese players, a lot of Korean, Chinese, and it's great to have that sort of person to look up to for that. And I mentioned it to her, and she said, "The funny thing is, growing up, they never noticed that. They never thought, oh, I'm this, Asian hockey player. No, they're just like, I'm just one of the boys." And growing up like that, they were always felt like they were included because they were part of the team. And that
Mm.
was really refreshing to hear too. So when I met him, I was able to tell him, "I've met your mom multiple times. Now I can say I've met you. And you're such a great role model for all these Californian kids." And he was like, talking to him was like talking to my little brother. He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's so cool." And just very down to earth, really nice guy. You can tell he was raised right. So
Oh,
he was
cool.
cool.
Have you shopped at Pure Hockey? They are America's largest hockey retailer with dozens of stores and the option to shop online. If you or any of your kids play hockey, Pure Hockey is the place to find just about all of your equipment, skates, sticks, gear, bags, jerseys, and accessories. Plus, Pure Hockey is one of our affiliate partners. Next time you break your hockey stick or your kid grows out of his skates, why not check out purehockey.com? While you are looking for hockey equipment, you can also browse around for merchandise from your favorite NHL team, you know who Breezy's and mine are, and make gift giving even easier for your hockey-loving friends and family. And do us a favor, use our special link for purehockey.com when you browse the site and make a purchase, because we'll receive a small commission, which helps me and Breezy create this podcast. Head to the episode's show notes for the special direct link to shop at purehockey.com. I just think it's great. Even if they know they have to be nice because they're at like a charity fan type of event, they don't always have to be, or they don't have to take the time and actually talk to you. So like, I think it's very refreshing to hear. So.
Yeah, exactly. And where they're actually talking to you and, making eye contact with you. They're listening to what you're saying. It means a lot. It does mean a lot.
Yeah.
It's funny. I actually meet now a lot of parents, which I think is odd, but it's been happening more and more now. Or somebody will be contacting me on Instagram and tell me they're so-and-so's mom and they want pictures. Just, it's weird. But then I realized, oh my gosh, I am that old, and a lot of these players are that young, and it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that's happened a couple of times now, or at games where they'll come up to me and tell me that they're so-and-so's parents. And I'm like, how the heck do you know who I am? This is crazy.
It's all Tyler's fault.
It is completely his fault. Even though he asked, what did I do? Oh, you did everything.
Yeah. Like he's so innocent, please.
Oh, he's
like
not innocent.
Exactly.
Did you tell him that he doesn't wear a shirt underneath his pads? That's why it's all his fault.
I didn't get that far.
Okay.
I think I would have needed another glass of wine to get that far, Breezy.
Probably.
He probably would have laughed, and his fiance probably would have thought it was even funnier. So
yeah.
How
is Kate? Kate seems pretty cool. His fiance?
She's pretty sweet. Yeah, she's very sweet. She's quiet. I mean, not that there was a lot of opportunity to talk to her or anything, but
yeah.
I told her she had a catch. So good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Good for her.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thanks for joining us and sharing your stories and giving us your thoughts. And we've got a lot more playoff hockey, so lots more to watch today too. So tell everybody again, just in case they didn't figure it out, where they can follow you on social media.
The Instagram is All Tyler's Fault, all one word. And if you want to follow on Twitter, I have a Twitter account. It's Coyote Ducks 54, all one word. And just want to thank you guys too. This is so fun to come on and talk to you again, and go playoffs. It's going to be exciting.
Go playoffs. Go teams. Hope everyone has fun.
Hope someone wins.
Someone wins this, and I hope someone wins the Stanley Cup.
Thanks for coming over to our House of Hockey podcast and hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Just look for House of Hockey podcast. We'll be back next week.